Powershell, including Windows Powershell and Powershell Core, is a task automation and configuration management framework from Microsoft, consisting of a command line shell and associated scripting language built on the .NET framework, providing rich objects and a massive set of built-in functionality for taking control of your Windows environments. Powershell provides full access to COM and WMI, enabling administrators to perform administrative tasks on both local and remote Windows systems. In PowerShell, administrative tasks are generally performed by commandlets, which are specialized .NET classes implementing a particular operation. Sets of commandlets may be combined into scripts. PowerShell also provides a hosting API with which the PowerShell runtime can be embedded inside other applications. These applications can then use PowerShell functionality to implement certain operations, including those exposed via the graphical interface. The background behind PowerShell. Every release version of Microsoft DOS and Microsoft Windows for personal computers has included a command line interface. The shell is a command line interpreter that supports a few basic commands. The shell also includes a scripting language, in the way of batch files, which can then be used to automate various tasks. By 2002, Microsoft had started to develop a new approach to command line management, including a shell called Monad, also known as the Microsoft Shell or MSH. Monad was to be a new extensible command shell with a fresh design that would be capable of automating a full range of core administrative tasks. Microsoft published the first Monad beta in June of 2005, and by April of 2006, Microsoft formally announced that Monad had been renamed Windows PowerShell, positioning it as a significant part of their management technology offerings. On the 18th of August 2016, Microsoft announced they had made PowerShell open source and also cross-platform, with support for Windows, OS X, CentOS and Ubuntu. The move to open source created a second incarnation of PowerShell called PowerShell Core, which runs on .NET Core. It is distinct from Windows PowerShell, which runs on the full .NET framework. Windows PowerShell can execute four kinds of named commands: commandlets, PowerShell scripts, PowerShell functions, and standalone executable programs. Commandlets are specialized commands in the PowerShell environment that implement specific functions. Commandlets follow a verb-noun naming pattern, such as getChildItem, helping to make them self-descriptive. Commandlets are specialized .NET classes, which the PowerShell runtime instantiates and invokes at runtime. PowerShell implements the concept of a pipeline, which enables piping the output of one commandlet to another commandlet as input. For example, the output of the getProcess commandlet could be piped to the where object to filter any processes. Windows PowerShell includes a dynamically typed scripting language which can implement complex operations using commandlets imperatively. The scripting language supports variables, functions, branching, loops, structured error and exception handling, and closures. One can also use PowerShell embedded in a management application, which uses the PowerShell runtime to implement the management functionality. For this, PowerShell provides a managed hosting API. The PowerShell ISE. The Windows PowerShell Integrated Scripting Environment, or ISE, is a host application for Windows PowerShell. In Windows PowerShell ISE, you can run commands and write, test, and debug scripts in a single Windows-based graphical user interface with multi-line editing, tab completion, syntax coloring, selective execution, context-sensitive help, and support for right-to-left languages. The current version of PowerShell, PowerShell 5, was released in February of 2016. It includes extra PowerShell class definitions, PowerShell.NET enumerations, debugging for PowerShell run spaces, and debugging for PowerShell background jobs.